Guys, what is up? It's Chris Colgan here, back with another episode of Real NoVA Network. I've got a bunch of cool stuff to talk about this week, so let's get ready for this week's video. Leesburg just got its first hotel in over 60 years, and it is definitely fancy. There's also a huge FBI deal that is coming to Reston, and wait for this one, a $200 million ballroom on the White House. It's going to be built by a Northern Virginia company, and yeah, that's actually a pretty big deal. But wait, this is something that I'm really excited about. It's the July housing market numbers here for Northern Virginia. I think it's going to really be exciting for home buyers, so let's get into the video. Okay, so this first story is actually really exciting. Hotel Berg just opened in Leesburg on August 1st. And it's right in downtown Leesburg. And then when they say this place is next level, like literally it's next level. They pretty much went all out. And this is the first hotel to open up in that Leesburg area in over 60 years. I don't know what's been going on, because obviously Leesburg has been growing, but there's actually 39 rooms spread out across 3 buildings right on King Street. It's a $20 million project that also brings fancy food, high-end service to a town that has been waiting for something like this for a really long time. The restaurant is called The Hunt by Chef Vincent Badi. Don't even ask. I'm assuming that's French, but I literally don't know. So sorry, sir, if I chopped up your name. He's got a Michelin star place in DC called Gravitas. They are doing stuff like open fire cooking, game meat, and even using herbs they pick themselves. Now, rooms start at $370 a night, and on weekends it can go up to $500. This is obviously going to be an expensive boutique hotel, but check this out. There's also a private club called The Chase that has a speakeasy, a rooftop bar for the hotel just for those guests, and they'll even drive you around in wine country and a Land Rover, so that actually sounds really cool. Now, a luxury hotel showing up after 60 years isn't just about cool places to stay. It means the town is growing. It means home values could go up. Like the town is saying that we're looking for something bigger and better. I think it's going to get kind of like that downtown Middleburg feel for sure in Leesburg. When you have someone pumping $20 million into a boutique hotel, that really means they do believe in the vision of Leesburg and what's happening over there. And obviously Leesburg has fought a lot of the building for sure, and it's definitely nicely located. I have a lot of people that watch my YouTube that hit me up, and honestly, I saw some of the pictures of this place. It looks like something right out of a Ralph Lauren magazine, and I did have a lot of Instagram people DM me and said they tried to be private club members and they weren't able to get into it. So let me know if you ended up being a member or not. I'm not sure how much it is, but let me know too. Are you guys excited about stuff like this, or do you kind of think it's like really niche-y? Before we get to the next story, just a quick heads up. If you like staying in the know about off-market properties, foreclosures, new buildings, and all kinds of real estate news, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Here at Real NoVA Network, we talk about all things Northern Virginia, news, business news, and real estate news. And let's keep talking about the next story. Next story, a company in Reston, Virginia, Leidos, which is a huge company. Some of you may actually work for them. They just scored a huge contract with the FBI in tune of $128 million. And this is why I tell people not to ignore the government contractor zone that we still have in Northern Virginia. A lot of people tell me in the comments, hey, everyone got laid off. I mean, obviously people did get laid off or had to retire early, but I am still seeing a lot of government spending. And Leidos is working on updating the FBI's next generation identification system. That's the biggest electronic database in the world for fingerprints and criminal records. The fingerprint system they're working on is now over 99.9% accurate. So that's actually pretty good. The contract starts within 1 year. It can go up to 5 years total, which means it could end up being worth over $128 million. Just to give you an idea how big Leidos is, they have 47,000 employees all over the world, and they make about $16.7 billion in revenue a year. And that's not a small company. It's a Fortune 500 company based right here in Northern Virginia and right here in Reston, which means more jobs. And not just any jobs, we're talking high-tech paying government jobs that keep Northern Virginia economy rolling. Even when other places are worried about job cuts or stuff like the economy tanking, we are still seeing a growing economy here. And so while people are worried about the government cutting jobs back, companies like Leidos are still locking in these huge contracts. The FBI just handed them a project that's going to be super sensitive data, and that's not the kind of thing that disappears overnight, right? Like a lot of these jobs, they still want them to be closer to DC, all these contracts. And if you think $128 million is a big number, wait till we get into the next story. Trump is planning to build a $200 million ballroom at the White House. I know that's pretty crazy, right? But back to Leidos just for 1 second. Under this new deal, they're building mobile apps, improving fingerprint technology, doing testing and adding new tech tools. And one of their top leaders, Roy Stevens, said, this work helps keep America safe. Not the kind of job that gets moved overseas or shut down, that's for sure. Now, they've worked with FBI for years and helped make fingerprint scanning a lot more accurate. When it comes to catching criminals and protecting the country, that kind of accuracy does really matter. And just recently, Leidos bought another company called Kudo Dynamics for $300 million to improve AI cybersecurity. So they're really all in the defense tech industry. Do any of you guys work for them? One of my family members used to work for them, but he actually moved on to a different company, and he had a lot of different things to say. But what things like this tell me is, yes, you know what? Yeah, there is some government changes with the Trump administration, but there are still companies here landing huge contracts. And that's another company here locally landed another big contract. So let's talk about my next story. All right, so a Virginia firm just landed a $200 million contract to build a White House ballroom. So President Trump just announced that he's building this ballroom right at the White House, and guess who's building it? Clark Construction, which I'm sure you've seen their signs everywhere, no matter where you go. I think they actually built Nat Stadium and some other big places like that, right? And they're based in McLean. Now, their construction is going to start in September. Ballroom is going to be 90,000 square feet, almost twice as big as the entire White House. It'll seat 650 people. That is a lot more than the current East Room, which only holds about 200. The whole $200 million is being paid for by Trump and private donors. Now, I kind of heard rumblings about this in the White House for the last 10 or 20 years, that there really wasn't a big entertaining or convention area. So it is kind of cool that they're doing this. I mean, luckily it is doing through private donors and things like that and not taxpayer monies, but this will replace the east wing of the White House, and based on design pictures, it looks something straight out of Mar-a-Lago, which really is Trump's playbook, right? There'll be gold and crystal chandeliers, big fancy columns, a fancy ceiling with gold details, marble floors in black and white pattern, and it is definitely super fancy. But the Clark Construction isn't just some local company doing small gigs. They helped build Amazon HQ2, George Mason's tech campus, and right now they're doing the $800 million makeover at Capital One Arena. And 10 years ago, they actually built the African American Museum of History and Culture. That's a really cool museum. You should go check that out. From a real estate standpoint, it's kind of crazy, right? A Virginia company that's landing all these big construction jobs. I think it's really great, right? To be based here in Northern Virginia and get these huge contracts. That helps out with the local economy, not even with the people that work for Clark, but all the subcontractors, delivery people, electrical, plumbing. Clark Construction, with jobs like that really puts you in the books, and they're going to be booked solid for the next 10 years with all their projects going on right now. So construction firms in Northern Virginia and the DMV area are still making a lot of money, and that's why I'm still seeing some cash offers here in Northern Virginia. But one thing I want to tell you, if you are thinking about buying a house, you're definitely going to want to hear the July housing market numbers I'm going to go over, because buying power definitely is changing, and I'm seeing a lot of different things, right? With inspections for buyers are not having to do these crazy bids. But here's something funny. Trump has been talking about building this ballroom for over 15 years. He even offered to build one for President Obama back in 2010 for $100 million, but he never got a response. Now he's actually going through it. It's supposed to be done before his term ends in 2029. Now, some people might say that spending $200 million is over the top, but you know what? From a construction and local business angle, I definitely think this does help our local economy, and it is a big win for Virginia and Northern Virginia. Now, this next story is kind of small, but it kind of holds near and dear to my heart. All right, now growing up in Gainesville, literally there was nothing out here, right? You had Gainesville, Haymarket, there was nothing there. There was one stoplight, and then we had a little Christmas store and a Wendy's. Well, years ago when they did the overpass, it was tragic. They got rid of the Wendy's, and I'm a big Wendy's fan, if you can tell by looking at me, right? So I looked the other day, and I can tell you guys stories, whether it's $200 million or a local Wendy's. Well, Gainesville and Haymarket, right in Haymarket by the corner there where their Walmart is, in the corner of the intersection there by James Madison and all that, they are building a brand new Wendy's, and there's all kinds of construction going on over there. So look, you know what? We're not all about big construction projects and all of that, but there is a lot of fast food going on in Northern Virginia. Like just over there in Haymarket, I saw the, the Wendy's, the Popeyes, the Taco Bell. I do wish there was some more local restaurants, but it is kind of cool that Wendy's is coming back. It's funny, like so many people have DM'd me and been like, is it true that Wendy's is really coming back over by Haymarket Junction? And I'm like, yeah, it is. You know, it's really exciting. I know, trust me. But, you know, eventually over there, we're going to see a lot more construction in that area. You still have the Tesla dealership that I believe is still in the works as well. But locally here to my heart, that really does touch me because I have missed you, my spicy chicken sandwich. Now let's get into the Greater DC and Northern Virginia housing market stats for July. All right, so here is the thing. If you've been keeping an eye on stuff, and the numbers are actually pretty interesting now. The deal is there are way more houses for sale than ever before, which means buyers have a lot more room to negotiate, but mortgage rates are still pretty high, and that's making it harder for people to buy. And home prices are actually still going up. You would think that the negative other would happen, like they would be going down, but I am seeing prices still rise, which shocked me, right? I have a listing in Loudon, and I think we had like 20 showings the first weekend, and then I have another one in Warrenton, Virginia, we had 18, but I do have others that sit on the market, so it is really niche. But the biggest change that I'm seeing right now is how many homes are available. In June 2025, there were 10,200 homes for sale in the DC area. That's actually 40% increase year over year. And we haven't actually seen that type of increase since COVID hit. So what does this exactly mean? Basically, buyers now have more options. They don't have to rush their decisions anymore. Look, it's good now, right? If you want to go out and buy, you actually have options. You can get inspections, radon tests, septic tests. You don't need to waive appraisals, things like that. So I have a couple of buyers looking at Arlington, Alexandria, Loudon, and they're having more like room to look for a house. They're not having to feel rushed, things like that. And I'm still seeing only about 2 months of inventory. So that's really good. I mean, parts of Florida and Texas are now way over a year. But let's talk about some of the numbers, right? The typical home price in the DC area hit $650,000, and that's including condos, townhomes, and single families. That's 1.6% higher than last year, but it's also the slowest increase of over 2 years. Let's break it down by area. Loudoun County's median price is now $805,000, up 6.6%. Arlington, $740,000, up 8%. Alexandria actually dropped to $680,000, and Fairfax is around $767,000. But places closer to cities like Arlington and Alexandria are seeing prices go down. Why is that? It's because of the condo market. Condo market is still really struggling. When you get out to like Loudon, Prince William, and Fairfax, mainly single families, not a lot of high-rise townhomes. Obviously, they have a lot of townhomes in those areas. Those are still rising for sure. Homes are taking a little bit longer to sell. In June, it took 12 days on average to sell, and last year it was only 7, right? So we're still moving really quickly. In DC itself, it's taking a lot longer. It's around 30 days, which is 13 days higher than last year. Let's talk about Prince William and Fauquier. In June, there were 1,619 homes sold. That's down from 2% last year. And the median price is $515,000, which is up 4%. And it also took homes in Prince William and Fauquier on average 11 days to sell from 7. So home prices there are still doing really well, and houses are selling quickly. Now mortgage rates are still at a great high, right? They're almost to 7. I have seen them go down a little bit, around 6.5%. That's going to show you why a lot of the sales activity is slowing down, and prices in some areas like DC have gone down as well. But showings are actually up 1%. In places like Arlington, they're up 30%. So there is a lot more people looking. And then Alexandria, it's up 20%. So buyers are still interested. They're just being a lot more pickier. And if you're thinking about buying a home, this is a really balanced market. First I've seen in a long time. If you're thinking about selling, I will tell you what I'm seeing in this market, your house is going to have to show really well. It's going to have to be priced right. You can't do the thing where you overprice it anymore and then just hope someone is going to buy it. We do have companies that can come in and do the work for you and get paid after closing. So we can help you with that. We go through, we show you all of our marketing, all of that. I mean, honestly, right now we're getting about 15 million viewers across Instagram and YouTube. We can get your house in front of a lot of people. But let me know what you guys think about all these stories. What are you the most excited about? The luxury hotel, the FBI contract, which, okay, that's not that exciting. $200 million ballroom, which I doubt any of us are gonna be getting invited to, right? Or the Wendy's, like me. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Email me, info@colganteam.com, if you have any story ideas, or maybe you want to talk about real estate, or if you're thinking about buying or selling a house. And guys, every week I'm dropping videos like this, so please smash that subscribe button.